Listen to it. Sounds like a toilet. Don't know if you can hear that. And welcome back to the excitement that is me growing stuff in pots. Hoorah! Well, surprisingly, I haven't killed many fruit trees apart from one over there, which I'm not going to show you in this video. I did get a jackfruit. How cool is that? That is a grafted jackfruit. Anyway, Benji. Ooh, there's your little belly. Woof, come on, quick. This video, though, is about this. This is my level ground. It's not really level, but that's okay. I got a hydroponic system. There's Benji going in for the sniff. Sniff, there we go. Yes, it was cheaper to buy this, and I think it's about 299 Australian dollars. So what's that, like $10 US and however many rupees that is? I'm not too sure. Do people still use rupees? I'm sure they do. Anyway, if you know how many rupees that is, comment down below in the comments. I got it because of all the fittings. Fittings in Australia are expensive. Hello? What's in there? Yeah, he doesn't really care what's in there as long as he gets pats. There are a lot of fittings, and look at that fitting. It's like an end cap with molded things. We could probably 3D print these if 3D printing didn't suck, and 3D printing is pretty sucky, so we're not going to do that. That would probably take 3 days and cost $50, so no. Looks like I haven't actually opened this up. I mean, obviously I took the packaging off the outside. Oh no. I did see that. Wow. Food bag sealing clips. Please give us a good feedbacks on eBay. Okay. Wow. That's some interesting Chinese Kool-Aid. Ready to use, no mixing required. The problem is that we ideally want to go organic. I don't think that's organic. Liquid fertilizer, potassium chloride, blah, 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 blah. Borax. Isn't that a bug killer? I'm sure that's from a lake or something. I don't know how you safely dispose of those. We're going to Google how to safely dispose of those. Maybe put them in the fridge for kids. No, don't do that. They can just go on the bin. What I didn't realize we got looks like a pump. It is, it's a pump. Possibly a 12-volt pump. So what I'm going to do is take all this stuff out of the box, see what we got, and go from there. Okay, that is a lot of stuff. I may have stuffed up as well because on the eBay thing, it didn't tell me whether it had pumps or anything with it. All you see is just a picture of the actual hydroponic setup and nothing else. And then they have options for other bits and pieces. So I did buy some little tiny cup things, which are ridiculously small. But while I was unpacking, it comes with cup things. Of course, a different color. So now we could, well, that's not really a color, that's clear. We could alternate colors. But that's not really an issue. There's a lot of pipe. If you were to drill all these pipes, you would probably go crazy. There's a lot of people on YouTube showing you how to make stuff with melting holes in plastic and drilling pipes and all sorts of stuff. It's all fine if you're that motivated, but for most people, no. Look at you, Benji. Look at you side saddling. So, this is where we are. We have our fittings, we have our pipey things, we have some very old, creepy sponge. I know, it looks like it may have been boxed up for like a long time. It doesn't feel good. We're going to wash our hands after this. But yeah, looks like that's what you start your little seeds in. Fit that in there. So it's surprising that comes with that. The pump is 12 volt and the right plug. And it has a little timer on it. That's kind of cool. I don't know if we'll use that one. We may just do a solar powered system like we did with our strawberries. But this is where we are. I don't even know if the instructions are... Oh, look. Basic instructions. Yeah, that's going to be super, super easy to do. Oh, the coolest thing Got this weird little hammer. Look at that. Here's the handle. Wow. And it's got wheels. Really, it does. Okay, I'm going to see how long this takes to assemble. It is 6 a.m. in the morning. I have to work today. Got about an hour to do this. I'm going to see if we've come back in an hour and it's all assembled. Okay, we have stopped for a little bit. This is a really annoying tool, but it was free, so you know, you can't really complain. Tapping all these bits in. Halfway through, I've sort of thought, well, what happens if they all leak? How am I going to pull them all apart again if they all leak? I don't really want to put any of that glue around here, just in case I do it wrong. So we're going to assemble the whole thing, as I said just before. Then we're going to test it out with water and see if we have leaks. Now, it's not that I don't trust China, but I don't really want to rig this up without washing it and letting it air out, just in case there's any weird chemicals and stuff in it, sprayed with stuff, which I'm sure it's going to be sprayed with stuff. Who knows? I don't think they just import boxes of random stuff without nuking them with stuff, but we'll see. Yeah, this is where we are. It has taken 20 minutes to knock all these bits in. We're halfway there, so we're going to be back in a second. Okay, that took far, far too long. So what I have noticed with bashing them in with my dodgy hammer thing is the pipe expands, which I'm pretty sure is going to make it a really good tight fit. So I'm not expecting any leaks from those. And if you were to glue them in, it would be a freaking nightmare, because to try and get these on an even angle, you know what I mean, so the pipes don't go all weird and stuff, would be nuts, especially when you're doing it on a slope and not even ground and you're using a dodgy tool. Oh, it's so much fun early morning. So I've got 7 of those bits. I've got 1 of those bits. That is the bottom bit that overflows. You have these bits which go in the pipe, which stop the water from leaking down. I mean, I'm sure it'll drip, but drip on the inside doesn't really matter. Or will it? Yeah, it'll just fill up the legs, won't it? And then it'll come out the bottom. We'll see how that goes. I can't see them sealing the pipe perfectly. Maybe they do. Who knows? Okay, we're almost there. So now we've got those. We're going to assemble those on those and come back. It's nearly been an hour. I'm pretty sure the whole neighborhood is really cranky with my banging. But it's after 7 a.m. now, so relax, people. It's not like an everyday thing. No one screamed out, "Shut up!" Okay, we have our 3 main bits, and then we have our one with our extra bit, which is that bit there. Though, what is concerning is I have an extra bit of that and an extra of that. I hope they're just spare bits. I'm pretty sure they'll just be spare parts, because everything else is kind of accounted for. So all we're going to do now is attach the legs and the little blocky bits. Yeah, the blocky bits. And see what it looks like. We've managed to kind of assemble it on the slope. Thank you, Benji, for peeing on that leaf. That leaf really needed to be peed on. We're going to jump to it assembled. So that was the most painful thing ever. Expect to take about an hour making one of these up. I sort of got it halfway done, then realized that the legs are different heights. So there are smaller legs down the bottom, if you read the instructions, which we don't. And then all these ones are taller. Yeah. It is assembled. The neighbors hate me. There was a lot of banging. It's a little bit flexy, but I don't know. A few problems. You can't turn these pipes once they're rammed in, so some of them are on a little bit of a weird angle. I'm sure those plants will be fine. That is a lot of holes. I'm pretty sure it's 72 holes, which seems a ridiculous amount. I don't know if these systems would work without lights, because there's so many holes so close together. What are you supposed to do? Maybe it's just for seedlings. I'm not entirely sure. We're going to have fun setting this up. But that is a lot of holes and a lot of pipe. And yeah, we still had 2 bits left over. But that is what it looks like assembled. So the little tiny bits that slot into the legs that stop the water from coming through all the legs were pretty tight fit. So everything's been a reasonably good tight fit. What I think we might do is get a bucket of water, hook up the pump, and see if the water flows through like it's supposed to. We're going to use that pump for this because, you know, it comes with that pump. Let's find some water in a bucket. That is definitely not level, but it is what it is. We have our bucket of water. We have crows screaming in the background. I have doubts that that tiny little pump, which is 250 litres an hour, is going to pump up that high because it's like 5 foot high. We're going to plug this in with 2 hands and come back. Okay, it is plugged in. I did actually hear water. That's ridiculous. If that little tiny pump can pump up that high, I think we're going to use most of our bucket of water. Maybe it'll take like 5 hours to trickle through the whole system. But I reckon it's going to work. I wonder how many leaks we'll get. Okay, the water level is going down in the bucket surprisingly fast. So that is bizarre. Okay. Who would have thought that tiny little pump will do it? Now, the pump does come with, where is it? There it is. A little timer, because ideally with hydroponics, it turns on every 15 minutes. No, oh, listen to that. Well, that is very disturbing. Oh my God, we do have water going down the pipe. Who would have thought that it works so far? No leaks in the first layer. Got a few levels to go. As I was saying, this little thing here is a timer on it. So it'll go for 15 minutes every hour or 2, something like that. And that just goes in line with a cheap little pump. I'll come back when there's water coming out of the bottom. Okay, that took a whole bucket of water and about 10 minutes. But it's working. That is our overflow. We were about to top up the bucket again, but we didn't. We have just unplugged it. There doesn't seem to be any leaks. So there you go. I think a few issues with this system is these holes are way too close together. Is it designed just for seedlings and then you have to put the plants somewhere else? Obviously it's not going to work long term unless you do 1 plant every 3 holes, which defeats the purpose of having a system so compact. But no leaks. The first time the pump works. I think for all the fittings and everything like that, it is a pretty good price. You could modify it, obviously connect the pipes up and make it into a longer system. Put your own pipes on it maybe. All the fittings you can use. I think I only broke 1 fitting by hitting it with the hammer thing. But that holds 20 kilos of water, which is kind of crazy. Listen to it. Sounds like a toilet. Don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, you can hear that. So first impressions, now that I know that the pump works, is it worth it? I don't know. See, the problem is there are so many holes so close together that unless you're growing anything except little tiny seedlings, once they grow, there's going to be no light to them. Even if you have LED lights, which kind of defeats the purpose a little bit, sitting above every single shelf, yeah, there are so many holes so close together. I think if there was a hole every second hole, and these pipes were joined and longer, so there was just 2 maybe, or 3, it would be a lot better. So I think this system is maybe kind of just set up for impulse buy people. Unless you just want to grow seedlings to a certain size and then put them in another system, which kind of defeats the purpose a little bit, doesn't it? I don't know. Is there any mini plants that stay that small? At least the pump works. All the fittings are great. I'm not too sure what I'm doing with this, if I'm going to modify it or not. I could easily probably just join these up and make it one big long system. So I think for the pipes, it's worth it. The pump doesn't really matter because that's a very, very cheap pump. But tubing and pipes, I think for the general idea and how it's set up is a pretty good idea. Yeah, just too many holes too close together unless you're just starting out seedlings. And it wasn't labeled as just a seedling thing. It was labeled as a hydroponic system. So yeah, I think if you're handy with modifying stuff, it'll be awesome. If you're not handy with modifying stuff, maybe don't bother with one of these because it's not going to work. There's not enough room for light. Anyway, that's my opinion. In the next video, I'm going to set this up. I don't know if I'm going to set it up for hydroponic or aquaponic stuff. Aquaponic's pretty easy. I'll just connect the pump to one of my pools and pump the water through, and then it goes back into the pool again. But yeah, lighting is going to be a huge problem unless it's in full sun. And then you're going to get the problem where we are with things frying. So it was a nice idea, but I think borderline fail. Let's give it a maybe 6 out of 10. At least we can use it for parts, but I don't think it's going to be practical long term. Mainly because they're so close together in the light. But good idea, good style, just, yeah, too many holes, too close together. I'm sure some people have that problem too. Anyway, if you did like this video, click the thumbs up so I know. If you want to subscribe, and you'll see this in one of the next videos, hopefully going and hopefully modified. Should be pretty easy to modify. I think I can just pull that apart and just have 2 and join them up. So I've got a big long system maybe. I have no idea. Maybe I'll leave it like that. Anyway, see you in the next video.